Chaos. Woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, chilling with coffee mugs, me and coffee chugs, talking education all across the nation, pushing boundaries, thinking innovation. Chaos.
Let's just go with like a general like Spider-Man comic. How about that?
Okay.
So here'll be your scenario, and we can clean this little brainstorm piece out. So
sure.
if I present you like at the time of this recording, I know that tomorrow, the next issue of one of my Spider-Man series is going to be on the rack, or in my pull list, I should say. If I wanted to take a look through that and kind of lend that eye that you put into the work, what would be some things that I should be paying attention to notice or wonder about?
Okay, so Spider-Man. First of all, what does he wear? I would look at the book and I would ask myself, what is the main character wearing? And half the time it's probably going to be his costume. So I would say, what about the costume tells me something about the person? Or his experience. For example, Spider-Man's costume is always absolutely skin tight.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it? Because he's always swinging around. It's to reduce friction. It's to reduce the possibility he might be caught on a flagpole or something. And it's to allow us to have an uninhibited view of his gymnastic nonsense. So you could look at what colours are used and how those make you feel. You could look at exactly what kind of gymnastic nonsense he's doing and how that makes you feel. You could look at how the artist of that particular issue is drawing the costume on his body, how many of the contours of his body, what kind of body he has, how that's being represented, what you think that means about what Marvel as a whole thinks that the idea of people who read Spider-Man expect or allow in regards to how naked he looks, essentially. Because, for example, my partner has been reading Spider-Man recently, and it goes backwards and forwards with the artist. Which parts of Spider-Man's body are most clearly outlined? Which angles we're seeing Spider-Man from? And that tells you something about what that artist thinks is important in the representation of a human body and the representation of a human body that is also Peter Parker, and what kind of person he is and how his life as a person who wears street clothes intersects with his life as a person who wears a skin-tight costume. How does the costume differ to the things that he wears as a person on the street? Just keep looking and seeing what you see, and then thinking, what could that mean?
Yeah.
It's the same process over and over again. It's just what is touching my brain? Why am I noticing it? Does it intrigue me further? Does it relate to anything else? It's just like it's basically like Lego.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And as you're talking, it just makes me think about is the more I've been getting into these spaces, I'm starting to figure out I can I'm not going to give myself too much street cred here. Like notice like the writers, I can start to kind of pick out like writing styles and art styles and the colorists, like the different jobs that go in there, and I'm starting to kind of figure out which ones I like more than the others. But now the question, as you're talking for me, is I want to think more about like why do certain styles resonate? Like the Spider-Man story is just the story it's the same story over and over again, told a million different angles. But like the way people depict him and the things that's an
something with
piece.
Spider-Man in particular. You mentioned writers. Spider-Man is known as a joker, right? A quipster.
Yeah.
So when you're reading different guys or people, I don't know how many women have ever written Spider-Man, but there must have been some, right? Anyway,
so.
the various people who write Spider-Man, the kinds of jokes they have him say, the kind of quips they make him give, are going to vary. Some people will have it all be sarcasm. Some people will have it all be pop culture references. It varies, and that's interesting. Why does that writer like that kind of thing? Why does this person think Peter Parker is the kind of person who would know whatever piece of pop culture? Does it tell you about the character, or does it tell you about the person writing the character? It varies, but both are interesting because they're both technically people.
Yeah, that is. Oh, it's so fascinating. God, yeah, that's so good. Yeah, now when I have to go through and think through the different series that I'm reading and kind of pull through that there.
It's endless fun.
It is. It's now I'm gonna have to. I need to go back in my stack and start to flip through and see what I didn't pay attention to the first time.
Yeah.
Which is it's so great. I love the idea of inquiry and wonder, and you're definitely sparking that through this conversation.
Chaos. Woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, chilling with coffee mugs, me and coffee chugs, talking education all across the nation, pushing boundaries, thinking innovation. Chaos.